Did anyone else forget that Damian Lillard requested a trade? Because we're in September now, and Damian Lillard is still a Portland Trail Blazers player. And it seems as though the Blazers are letting this whole thing blow over and sweeping it under the rug, waiting for training camp and just saying to Damian Lillard, hey, look at that, the season's about to start, you don't have a team, you might as well come back and play for us. Well, that's what I think at least, because it's eerily similar to what the Brooklyn Nets did with Kevin Durant in the previous season, where Kevin Durant in the offseason said, enough is enough, I'm requesting a trade, get me the hell out of here. And the Brooklyn Nets tried for a little bit and then swept it under the rug, waited for the start of the season, and just like that, Kevin Durant came back. And Damian Lillard and Portland Trail Blazers, I think, are in the exact same situation, where Damian Lillard requested a trade and he only had one trade destination, which was the Miami Heat, and the Trail Blazers tried for a couple weeks, and then just like that, it's been dead silent. No one's said anything about the situation, and it seems as though the Blazers are waiting for the whole thing to blow over, waiting for training camp, waiting for the start of the season, and saying, Damian Lillard, you just have to come back now. Because there's no way in hell Damian Lillard is doing the whole Ben Simmons, James Harden thing, putting on a fat suit or just absolutely refusing to play. Damian Lillard will play. It doesn't matter. Even if he isn't traded, he will play. He's not that kind of player. But who's in the wrong for Damian Lillard not being traded? Because everybody looks towards the organization and says that they haven't done right by their franchise player. They haven't done right by possibly the greatest player in their franchise history. This is the guy that's made them possibly a household name in the past 10 years, that's synonymous with each other. You hear the Blazers, you think of Damian Lillard, and vice versa. Damian Lillard is Trailblazer through and through. He's stuck with them through everything. He's stuck with them with having semi-decent teams, decent team, a conference finals appearance, being out of the playoffs for 2 to 3 straight years. He's been there with them throughout that whole time. And throughout that whole time, he's seen many of his peers on the same level as him and possibly in the same position with the same kind of team and with the same lack of success, go up to the front offices and say, I want to get out of here. Take me to a championship contender. And they do that. And he's seen the likes of Kevin Durant go to somewhere else. He's seen the likes of James Harden, etc., request a trade out and be in a better position. But yet he decided to not do that. He stuck with the Trailblazers and he stuck playing with them, and he stuck playing on a bad roster that had zero direction. But yet, when the time comes to do right by him and actually pay him back, the Trailblazers haven't done it. They have not done it. They are demanding a lot of things for Damian Lillard, and as they should. He's Damian Lillard. He's a superstar. You should be getting 4 first-round draft picks and an incredible young talent for him. Not trading him for absolutely nothing because he's your franchise player and you should do right by him. He's been kind to you for so many years. We're just going to give him away for nothing. Here you go, the Miami Heat. Take Damian Lillard. We don't care. We love him, so we're just going to let him go. That's not how it is. At the end of the day, it's still a business. The whole thing is still a business. The Trailblazers need to do right by themselves first before they go and do right by Damian Lillard. Now, most people would say morally or ethically, that's wrong because Damian Lillard has helped them through everything. But Damian Lillard should know better. Just like how James Harden apparently struck an under-the-table deal with Daryl Morey after his pay cut. Basically to just say he's going to take a pay cut and then in the next season, you're going to pay me, right? But that's not how it happens. There is no favors. There is no, we'll pay you back, or there is none of that in these front offices. It's a ruthless business. Dwayne Wade went through the same thing with the Miami Heat, taking pay cut after pay cut after pay cut. And when it finally came to the time where the Miami Heat had to pay him, they said no. They didn't do right by their franchise player at the time. They just said no. And just like that, Dwayne Wade, who felt like betrayed and felt like he should have been paid, had to go and find himself on another team. And he was drafted by the Miami Heat. He got him a championship, and then he went through the whole Heatles era. And then he was also with them in tumultuous times when they weren't good and they weren't a playoff team. And he took those pay cuts to allow LeBron James and Chris Bosh come into that team, and yet they didn't want to pay him. Because they shouldn't. They don't need to pay him. Doesn't matter how well he's played for them, no matter how kind he's been to the organization. At the end of the day, the Miami Heat or the Portland Trail Blazers don't need to trade, don't need to pay Dwayne Wade or Damian Lillard. They really don't. I mean, most people would say they should, and maybe there's a case for it, but I think people are not looking towards Damian Lillard and saying he's in the wrong. Because for me, he might have just ruined his whole reputation of being loyal to the soil or whatever it is that he said in his rap. Because Damian Lillard basically gave the Trailblazers an ultimatum. He gave them one trade destination that he wanted to do. He said it's the Miami Heat or nothing else. To me, that's not doing right by his organization either. Yes, he's done everything for them and given them everything they could possibly imagine in the last 10 years. But surely, logically thinking, he should have a couple of trade destinations. He knows that the Miami Heat don't have enough to get him. He knows that. He knows how the business works. He's a vet. He's been through so much. He knows exactly what he's doing. So why would you put the Miami Heat as your only trade destination when you know the Miami Heat don't have draft capital and they don't have a young player that the Blazers want, and yet you still put them as your only trade destination? At least Kevin Durant put a couple. You know, it might have been the Phoenix Suns, but at least the Phoenix Suns had draft capital and they had young players that they were willing to trade for Kevin Durant. But Damian Lillard and the Miami Heat have nothing to give up for Damian Lillard. Nothing. And yet he's demanding that he go to the Miami Heat. So are the Blazers and their front office really doing wrong by Damian Lillard by saying, we're not going to sell you for nothing. We're not going to sell our absolute superstar who is worth 4, 5, 6 first-round draft picks and an incredible young all-star level player for absolutely nothing, for Tyler Hero and 2 or 3 first-round draft picks. If the Trailblazers don't want Tyler Hero and they don't want the draft picks that the Miami Heat have, they don't need to trade Damian Lillard. And they're not in the wrong at all. They're doing right by themselves. If they want 4 or 5 first-round draft picks, they should go and hold out and wait till they go and get the package that they want for Damian Lillard. And Damian Lillard can't be a crybaby. And he should really stick true to his whole reputation and stick true to his brand, which is being loyal. And to be honest, Damian Lillard can't say much at all. And if he starts being a crybaby and he starts saying, I won't come back, and he starts doing the Ben Simmons or James Harden thing where they refuse to play at all, he's ruined his whole reputation. And I think even putting the Miami Heat as his only trade destination sort of tarnished that in a way as well. Because he knows that the Miami Heat don't have enough. But yeah, he still did it. And apparently he told his agent, and that his agent told every other team in the NBA, if you trade for Damian Lillard, if your name is in the Miami Heat and you trade for Damian Lillard, he will not play. That is completely against Damian Lillard's brand. And maybe it's a bluff, maybe it's a smokescreen, because to be honest, he probably would play for any team that traded with him. No matter how disgruntled he may be, it seems as though that Damian Lillard's brand and Damian Lillard's reputation is that he will suit up no matter what and play for that team. But apparently so, if you trade him to anywhere else that's not the Miami Heat, or if he stays at Portland, apparently he's going to throw a hissy fit and he's not going to play. That's not Damian Lillard. That shouldn't be Damian Lillard. That isn't the person that we've come to know and love. And maybe he does. Maybe he changes his mind. He probably will. In the next month or two, either the Blazers will ask him, are you going to stay, or can we trade you to somewhere else that gives us a good enough package? And maybe at that point, he'll finally decide to go through with it. And he won't only want to go to the Miami Heat when he knows that the Miami Heat don't have enough for him. All right, that's enough Dame talk. That's enough.